In this episode, we are tearing down a Benelli 752S engine. The 752 and 750 engines are exactly the same. Netizens often joke about which manufacturer is the best at cutting cylinders. And Xinjiang Benelli easily takes the crown. The owner specifically asked me to check the oil pump chain. These things are always like this. Whether it's the 300, 502, 752, or 600, as long as it's their proprietary oil pump, the chain has probably never been tight. It seems men really do fear being a bit soft. Now, this clutch is a slipper clutch. These are the paper-based clutch plates. The gear position sensor module on this bike is hidden right behind the clutch basket. See, it's right here. Let's get back to the cylinder cutting joke. The TNT 600 cut in half makes 2 cylinders, which gives you the TNT 300. Cut 1 cylinder off the Benelli 1130, and you get exactly this 752. I said it couldn't be that simple. But a viewer randomly pulled out a calculator. And you know what? The math actually checks out. What a genius. Let's take a look at the timing chain. On the left is the 051251. This timing chain is actually identical to the one found in the older KTM 690. The only difference is the link count. Going back to what I said, after that viewer did the math, I went and looked up the bore and stroke of the 752. It's identical to the Benelli 1130. The bore is 88 mm for both. And the stroke is 60 mm for both. There isn't much wear on the camshaft. The cylinder head design uses both bearings and bearing caps. But they used good quality bearings here. They are SKF bearings. So, what failed in this engine? You're about to see. Look here, the piston and the cylinder head fell in love. And their collision created the sparks of romance. No, I mean the scars of love. Looking at it this way, it definitely threw a bearing. Let's check the cylinder sleeve. The sleeve has some scoring marks. But the cross-hatching is still visible. You could probably get away with reusing it. Also, this block isn't cast iron. It's an all-aluminum block. The 1130 uses an all-aluminum block too. This part actually looks pretty nice. Take a look at this massive piston. The first impression it gives you is how clumsy and heavy it is. Now look at this piston skirt. It snapped right in half. Wait, let me correct myself, not that dramatic. A chunk of the skirt broke off. The difference is obvious when you compare them, right? What happened here is that after the bearing spun, the vertical clearance became way too large. The piston ended up hitting the connecting rod. The root cause is that the piston skirt is designed too long, without leaving enough clearance. So on this machine, whenever a bearing spins and creates excessive clearance, it will always break the piston. This 752 engine feels incredibly bulky. To me, it feels more like an engineering prototype. It feels as if they just rushed it to production without any optimization. Of course, that's just my personal opinion. I'm just talking out of my ass. Since you've watched this far, if you like the video, please drop a like, folks. Let's talk about the common issues with this engine. This 270-degree crankshaft engine does have decent power output, but the common feedback from owners is the exhaust note sounds terrible. There are also a few instances of oil leaks, and a few cases of unstable idling and sluggish throttle response. Look, the debris from the piston is all caught in here. There are piston fragments inside the oil pickup strainer too. Another quite serious issue is engine oil leaking into the radiator. As for this problem, let me tell you straight up what causes it. It is almost always a failed oil cooler. Just replace it and you're good. I've already come across 4 or 5 cases of this. So I'm personally declaring it a known design flaw. Let's take a look at this connecting rod. Needless to say, the rod bearing is definitely scored. The copper lining on this rod bearing is completely exposed. But the main journals look fine. They're all acceptable. These are dado bearings. The main crankshaft journals on this bike are 0.5 mm thicker than those on other engines. This connecting rod is ruined too. It's badly scored and needs to be replaced. Let's look at the lower half of the crankcase. Let's sneak a peek at the crankshaft. Look how tightly these bearings are stuck onto it. These two rod bearings have completely overlapped. With this setup, were they trying to breed a baby bearing? This crankshaft really stumped me. To save the owner some money, I'll just swap it out for a used crankshaft. That should be fine. Look, we just hit the jackpot. This connecting rod is the exact same one used in the Benelli 1130. To that genius viewer out there, I bet if you're watching this, you're even more convinced now that this is just an 1130 block with a cut cylinder. Here comes the best part. You tell me if this isn't hilarious. When I looked closely at this connecting rod, I realized it left the factory unfinished. This oiling hole wasn't even drilled through. The hole on the right is correct. But take a look at the one on the left. Let me poke it open for you. Look carefully. Ah, that is instantly satisfying. And that wraps up this video. Thanks for watching, everyone. As for this rod, it'll still work if we make do with it.